Jai Shri Mataji. Let us all slowly raise our kundalinis, put ourselves in bandhan, and do pranam to Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, please give me purity in my heart. Please make my heart pure so that it can be the temple of your worship. Let me not have any of the 6 enemies residing within my heart. And please, may my heart be large enough to encompass your divine self, Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, please come in my liver. Please take the control of my liver. You hold the reins to the chariot of my attention, Shri Mataji. Please help me keep my attention all the time on you and the Param Chaitanya. And let this insignificant attention of mine be enlightened by your divine attention, Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, please come in my brain. Let me feel your presence in my brain. Please, Shri Mataji, guide me to take the right action at every step. Give me the divine discretion and the divine wisdom. Shri Mataji, please give me humility. Please give me the humility and the innocence of Shri Ganesha. Let the innocence of Shri Ganesha be implanted in my brain, Shri Mataji. Please enlighten this brain, Shri Mataji, so that you are the controller, you are the doer, and you are the enjoyer, and I am simply an instrument. Please let this I-ness go away, Shrimataji. There is no I. Please make us a part and parcel of the whole. And let us drop away all our ego and conditionings. Shrimataji, please let my Sahasrara be the humble abode of you and Sri Sadashiva, as if it is Mount Kailash. Please let us feel the vibrations of you and Sri Sadashiva pouring down upon us and be drenched in the absolute bliss and joy. Today, on the auspicious occasion of the birth of Shri Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who was an Anshavatar, partial incarnation of Shri Shiva, we'll listen to some excerpts from Shrimataji on Shivaji, and then we'll offer a short puja to Shri Shiva.
Not proper, but he was not just a mere king. You see, he was a Devi Bhakta and an Anshavatara, and his mother was also an Anshavatara. What is the sign of an Anshavatara is that they have extra powers over themselves and over others. And they have no temptations, no mistakes. So first of all, we should know that Shivaji himself was a divine person in the sense that he had no defects in him. He was a detached personality. I don't want to tell you the whole history about him, but his character, if you study, you'll be amazed how detached he was. He was not fond of women. He never hankered after them. And on the contrary, respected women very much. There's a story that once he was presented with the daughter-in-law of a great Nawab, because the people used to do, I don't know what to call those tactics, where you attack the people hiding from behind. Now try to hear through your sastra. You will hear me very clearly if you try to hear me through your sahasrara. So this great king Shivaji was a man without any temptation for women, and once he was presented with a very beautiful lady who was the daughter-in-law of a big Nawab, because they looted lot of money and lot of precious things, and this lady as well, when her caravan was passing through some passage in the mountains. So Shivaji looked at her, he asked her to remove her veil because she was a Muslim lady. And then looking at her, he said that if my mother was as beautiful as you are, I would have been equally beautiful. It's the best way to say that you are my sister. He himself had to marry 4 times because of certain problems of political nature, where he had to marry 4 women. But he married them because he had to marry, and all the 4 wives were his wife, and no other woman came into his head. This is such a tremendous character. This is first sign of a personality who is really mature, who has no attention towards another woman, which is very common. In Maharashtra, it's not difficult. For them, they don't understand what I'm talking about. This is one of the things one has to understand, how respectful he was to other women, that he gave away all her things, all her money, all her jewelry, all that was looted of that Nawab also, all the arms, everything, and sent back all the people to the Nawab. Because if there's a lady, she's the Shakti, she's traveling, so nobody has business to trouble her. This was his respect for a woman who belonged actually to another party. He had so many qualities that it's impossible to describe all that, but absolutely honest he was, and he lived like a saint. He didn't care for comfort. If you go and see his things that he had, you'll be amazed. He could sleep on the stones. But for his kingship, he had to wear all the ornaments, all the dresses which he used to wear. If you go in Bombay Museum, you'll see the chilkhat, we call it, a cover made out of iron mesh. He used to wear that. It's so heavy that you can't lift it. But he had to wear it, and he used to fight his wars wearing that. But like all other kings you see in the West, he didn't have weaknesses. He had no weakness, he had no habits, extremely honest, Spartan in temperament, and absolute ideal king he was. An absolute ideal king. He talked to everyone on the same level, treated everybody with respect, never showed off that he was a king. But he kept his dignity all the time. And when it was needed to be corrected, with all courage, he corrected people. He did not care for cheap popularity either. Such a man was a blessing to Maharashtra because he's such an ideal for us and for people to follow. And his mother was a great lady who brought him out of the clutches of the Mughal people who tried to convert forcibly Hindus to Islam. Like this Aurangzeb, he used to hate music and he would kill a very right-sided fellow. Every year, the Brahmins, so many Brahmins, that the thread they used to wear should weigh according to his body weight. So you can imagine what a cruel man he was. He was like Hitler only. But he was also very honest in the sense he used to make his own caps and sell them and live on that money. He was very right-sided. He was honest as far as the money was concerned, the government money was concerned, but he was so fanatically imprisoned in his own ideas about God that he had become just like a Rakshasa. To face him was very difficult in those days. He was a terror. Nobody could face Hitler from inside. But Shivaji managed it, and he did it so well. So Satara is a place where he established his first kingdom. This is the capital of Maharashtra, Satara. That's why it's a very important place. Secondly, after Shivaji, or when Shivaji was the king looking after the whole worldly affairs, his own son fell into a bad company of a fellow who came from Uttar Pradesh called Kabji Kalusha, who started drinking and doing all wrong things that should not be done. He was imprisoned, but even then he was a very, very lost case, but a good-hearted fellow. That is why this Maharashtra was divided into two, and his younger brother had to form another kingdom, or another part of the capital was in Kolhapur, where you saw Sambhaji's, I think you have seen Shahu Maharaja's statue there. So he was a very dharmic fellow, very good person, and he looked after that part very well. So Kolhapur started another capital. But what I'm trying to say, that when negativity starts crawling into something great, then it starts getting divided. And it is a very now common character, they say, of Marathas, that they indulge in bhavbandki, always form groups. I find it even happening in Sahaj Yoga. I went to Rahuri, I felt that in Rahuri also there is a kind of a bhavbandki working out. This is the character of Marathas, and they have to be very, very careful about it. One of them is bhavbandki, that they form a group suddenly and separate themselves from one another and start fighting each other. It is sort of a coagulation that takes place in their temperaments. One must understand that unless and until absolutely we are united, we cannot do Sahaja. So this kind of separation is a very wrong thing which should be avoided out and out. And one thing I want to tell all the Maharashtrians that they have to be careful on this point is bhavbandki. It comes out of jealousy, out of thirst for power, for not accepting somebody as the leader, trying to find faults all the time. If the leader is wrong also, it can happen. If the leader goes wrong, if he is not a person who can carry on well with others and something, it can happen. So it is quite a mutual thing that works out, but as a result of the whole thing is that it starts getting bifurcated, and that's how we lost the kingdom of Maharashtra, ultimately. So it's a very good example of understanding how Shivaji worked hard, fought Aurangzeb, established his kingdom, and how it was lost in second generation itself. I didn't do anything, it just started working with Sahasrara. Just see the miracle. Nothing. As soon as I said you pay attention to your Sahasrara, it started working out. After all, you hear through your ears, isn't it? And the ears also have got subtler ears. If you can awaken your subtler ears, you can get the advantage of that. Yeah. Like that. It's a beautifully done thing, I must say, keeping in view. And this is the statue of, here if you see on the right hand side, is Shri Ramdas Swami, the one who was the guru of our late king Shivaji Maharaj. And Sri Rama, they used to respect him because he was the ideal king, you see. And this is Ganesha here and Hanumana statue. It's a very beautiful place. Now they have made some place for us for sitting down. He worshipped from his childhood, you see, and because Hanumana is an angel, you know that, and he doesn't marry, but he was forced to marry, you see. So when he was getting married only, he ran away from that place, because when they said Savadhan, Savadhan means now after marriage they said, all right, be careful, be careful. Just before the marriage took place, he just ran away from there without getting married, because he cannot be married. He told them, they would not listen, and he couldn't bear it anymore, so ran away. Then he went and he came back again when in the time of Shivaji, and then Shivaji became his disciple. But he took some tests of his disciples. I do not take any tests, but he took some tests. First of all, he said, I'm very, very sick, and I've got a very big wound in my foot, and it has become a ulcer now. It's all full of pus and full of all blood and pus and all that, and only my disciple can only suck it out, otherwise nobody can suck it out. So all his disciples got a fright of their lives. They said, how can we do that? It's too much. But Shivaji said, all right. Shivaji came and he took out his crown and he just sat down sucking his wound, you see, and it was nothing but he had tied a big mango. And he was just But then he told Shivaji and others that they said, I am very sick now, you must get me the milk of the tigress. See, you must go and get them. Those days there were lots of tigers and tigresses here, but not nowadays. So he said, you must go and get milk of the tigress for me. So they all thought, how can they go and milk the tigress? It's very difficult. So Shivaji said, all right, I'll go down. He went in the village and then he went to the forest. You see, there he saw a tigress, you see. So he went and told the tigress, he just bowed before the tigress. He said, see, I don't want to disturb you, but my guru wants your milk, so you please allow me to take your milk. And the tigress came and stood before him, and he milked the tigress and took the milk to his guru and gave it to him. So the guru, people asked him, how did you manage? How could you do that? He said, don't you know what our guru is? He is the Hanumana himself. He's God himself. What is that? I just went and told, and tigress knew about him. She just said, all right, your guru wants it. How can she trouble me? If you have to do anything for your guru, whatever you have to do for your guru, with full faith and understanding about the guru, then of course the animals understand, why not human being? So he said, I can't understand, why were you afraid of it? It's nothing much. And that is what it is. But in those days all the gurus used to take such parikshas. But when ultimately, you see, after his all training
the king who was Shivaji was crowned. You see, after crowning, one day this Ramdas Swami went to his house, and wherever he went, he used to ask for some alms. Only from one house he used to get, and he used to go and just knock his. He had something he used to carry with him that he used to knock, and he used to say that Jai Jai Raghuveera Samartha. He used to say like that. So went and said that. So his disciple was the king there, and he understood that his disciple understood that my guru has come. I have to give him something as a dakshina. What can I give him? So he wrote a letter that all my kingdom is yours. I give everything to you, sir. I owe nothing. And he sent that letter to him. So when the letter came into his thing in which he was asking for alms, see, he opened it and read it, and he laughed and he called his disciple. He said, "You see, I am a sannyasi, so you can't give me anything. What will I do with the kingdom? I don't know how to run the kingdom. But you have to run the kingdom. But you must now, as you have given it to a sannyasi, do it with a detached mind. The whole thing should be done with a detached mind of sannyasi, and for that you must use this, he used to cover himself with a lion cloth, you see, with a double type of a lion cloth, which you have seen, how little lion cloth he was wearing. This should be used as the flag to show that just a lion cloth of a sannyasi is the flag of Marathas. And that's how this orange colored flag was hoisted as the flag of Shivaji. And now it is used politically also by some people. That's a wrong thing to do. But this is the flag which you must have seen in most of my processions. They use it. It's the flag which was taken by this king, Shivaji Maharaj, as his own flag to announce that he is doing this, is running this kingdom with a detached mind of a sannyasi. So there are many stories about them, lots of stories about Ramdas and his disciple, this king, and how he used to tell him how to run his administration. And Shivaji was the ideal king that we had in this country. Ideal king, a very good character, very dharmic fellow, and a very nice person. And because he wanted four kingdoms to join together, they said that if you marry our daughters only we'll accept. So he had to marry 4 women. He married them and looked after them very well. And he was a very good character and a very nice person and a very good king. And he is such a great source of inspiration to Maharashtrians. And he used to worship all these gods and Rama especially. And when you will go to Tunjapur also, you will see how he used to come by his horse all the way for miles together to visit this Devi's temple. There is another temple formed by the same Sri Ramdasa who found a statue of the goddess, and he calls it Angala Devi. See now, Angala in Sanskrit means English. Can you know? It's something surprising, isn't it? And he called it Angala Devi. He put that statue in a temple there, and it's called as Angala Rao. There is one Angala Rao. Angala in Sanskrit means English, you see. Angala. It's very surprising, isn't it? So I think at least the English Sahajogis must go and see. So already he must have thought of an English goddess, you see, from London. Like, when they do my puja, sometimes they call me London Puravasi. So end to it.
Can you tell us about his mother?
Let's go into that either. He was a very obedient son. Very obedient son. And his mother had given him a sword which was called, she said that this is given to him by Bhavani, the goddess herself has given you this, and he always used to carry it with him. But then when the English came here, they took away that one, and now it is lost, they don't know. It was said that they are willing to give it back. I don't know what happened. And then people went down there, and I think it's a funny thing, is it? They don't realize the value of that. It's still lost there, but with vibrations one can find out. But I don't think they realize the value to us of that. So, that's called as Bhavani Talwar. The chief minister from Bombay had gone. He was himself a Muslim to ask for that. And he was denied. I don't know. English people, when they understand the subtle things of this kind. But
That is the word Bhagavan.
I hope sometime to convince them. His mother was that, she was a very clever woman. And his father was Shahaji Rao. Actually, her mother's family was Zadav, Lakhuji Zadav, and my mother's family also same. They come from the same family. My mother's family and Shivaji's mother's family is the same family. And they so happened that she found out in Shivaji's childhood that the husband is quite subservient to the Muslim kings, you see. And the Muslim kings are just overpowering everyone here. And then Aurangzeb came in too. Aurangzeb was one of the worst of all. I think Khomeini must be Aurangzeb. He used to kill at least in 1 year, so he was a very thin man, in a right-sided, horrible, absolutely thin person. And he used to kill Brahmins or Hindus who would wear this thread, you see. We wear that thread for the rebirth. Even the Kshatriyas also wear that. And the weight of those threads had to be as much as that of Aurangzeb's body. He was like that, horrible, this Aurangzeb. And this lady then decided that the Shahaji Rao was at Govalkonda and all those places in the south. He was the sort of, we can say, subservient to the Muslim kings. So she decided to elope with her son Shivaji in the night. And she put her son on the horse, and with few of her people from her own family, Zadav family, she eloped. But he tried to follow and capture her, but she somehow or other escaped. And then she came and stayed in one of the forts. Now you will go and see tomorrow another fort where there is the Samadhi, means the tomb of Sri Ram. That you should see. I think you will be happy to see that. Sajjangarh is on the fort. You have to go. I think you have to walk at the most for long or so, but most of it you can go by your buses. And then she came there, and she found a guru for her son, Radha Kundev, and made Shivaji learn from him about Sanskrit and everything, and about how to run a country with valor, honesty, upright way, I mean in a virtuous and a righteous way. And then she told him that we have to fight the Muslims and the Mughals. And the Mughals were very powerful and extremely cruel. So the only way was to do a hide and seek game called as Ganimi Kawa, we call it, guerrilla warfare. So in these hills and rocks, she collected her own people who were ordinary villagers. She called them Maulai. These are the people whom she collected and made an army for Shivaji. And that's how Shivaji started fighting and looting these people and harassing them in these mountains. Where you are moving is all Shivaji's kingdom, and all these are Shivaji's forts. So Aurangzeb called him the rat of the mountains because he could never catch him. And at every place, you see, he tried to oust the Muslims from here. Ultimately they had to give in also, because Aurangzeb's sons, 4 sons he had, they only fought their own father, and perhaps he was killed, God knows what happened. But his tomb is in Aurangabad, just down south, you see. He was here. He was very busy with Shivaji, fighting him, and ultimately he died, and he has got a tomb there, this Aurangzeb. Now this Shivaji fought in different ways. There are different stories about him, how he fought. When he went to Pune, I don't know if you saw that Shanwarwada. I didn't know whether you had time to go and see that place, Shanwarwada. It's a place where, in the center of Pune, where Shivaji used to live. But he had gone on to a fort. When there was one fellow called Shaiste Khan, who was in the court of this Aurangzeb, who said that I will catch Shivaji and bring him down. And he came and settled down himself in his big house, which was called as Shanwarwada in Pune. So Shivaji came back as in a marriage party. And Shaiste Khan said that nobody is allowed to come in a group here. No group is allowed. But a marriage party could not refuse. So they said there's a marriage party that is going to go round. And in the marriage party, all these people were all dressed up like marriage party people, but inside they were all dressed up like soldiers. And he knew all the ways and roads, and at the back they went, and he entered through some sort of a place, a tunnel or something, inside. And then Shaiste Khan was sleeping, and he just woke him up and he said, now get up now. I am here, I am Shivaji, I have come now. Now why don't you catch me? Shaiste Khan got such a fright that he jumped out of the window. And but Shivaji wanted to kill him, so he hit him, but only hit him on the fingers. So his life was saved, but his fingers were lost. And then Shivaji occupied the place, and Shaiste Khan ran away, everybody ran away. It's so many stories like that. Then once, and then after this, you see, they all got very frightened, but they tried to follow Shivaji back. And Shivaji coming back, you came by that circuitous route on top of the Katraj. They called it Katraj Ka Ghat. It's the, there's no English word for that. I mean the circuitous road which takes you on top of the hill. Is there any way? There's no road for the name for that. We call it Ghat. There are so many Ghats, you are seeing that. And this is one of the famous. So he came on the Katraj Ghat, see, and what he did, he lighted a kind of beacons on the horns of many bulls, and made the bulls run on one road, you see, and he himself climbed over this Katraj thing. So all of them thought that this is the way Shivaji has gone, and they followed the other way round. And they followed them for quite long distance. Then they found out that they were just bulls, you see, and they were tied with these beacons which were burning, and they thought this was Shivaji, and Shivaji went to his own place. Once Shivaji was followed like that many a times. It's very interesting stories, how he was arrested and came out of Agra and all that. I'll have to tell you how he did all that. Very interesting. There are so many stories that I can't tell you just now. पण आता बाजी प्रभूचं आपण जाणार आहोत.
न तातो न माता न बन्धुर्न ताता न पुत्रो न पुत्री न भृत्यो न भर्ता न जाया न वेद्या न वृत्तिर्ममैव कतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि कतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि भवद्भावपारे महादुःखभीरु पपाथा प्रकामे प्रलोभे प्रमथा कसंसारपाश प्रबधा सदाहम् कतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि कतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि न जानामि ध्यानं न च ध्यानयोगम् न जानामि तन्त्रं न च स्तोत्रमन्त्रम् न जानामि पूजं न च न्यासयोगम् गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि न जानामि पुण्यं न जानामि तीर्थम् न जानामि मुक्तिं लयं वा कदाचित् न जानामि भक्तिं वृतं वापि माता गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि त्वमेका भवानि Tvameka Bhavani.
पशूनां पतिं पापनाशं परेशं गजेन्द्रस्य कृतिं वसानं वरेण्यं जटाजूटमध्ये स्फुरद्गाङ्गवारिं महादेवमेकं स्मरामि स्मरारिं महेशं सुरेशं सुरारातिनाशं विभुं विश्वनाथ विभूत्यङ्गभूषं विरूपाक्षमिन्द्वर्कवह्नि त्रिनेत्रं सदानन्दमीडे प्रभुं पञ्चवक्त्रं गिरीशं गणेशं गले नीलावर्ण गवेन्द्राधिरूढं गणातीतरूपं भवम्.
Today we have assembled here to worship Sadashiva, which is reflected within us as Shiva, as the spirit. He is reflected in our heart. And as you have seen that the goal of our life was to achieve the state of spirit. The other day I was reading some books how it was done. With self-realization, to know the spirit, and how people were tortured. First of all, they were asked to some or other deny, defy, and condemn their body. Now, if the body wants to have comfort, then it was said that first try to sleep on the carpet, not on the bed. Then still it's not enough. Then from the carpet you go to a mat. Still is not enough. Then from that you move down to the Mother Earth, sleep on the Mother Earth. Still, if the body is not all right, then you start sleeping on the stone. But still Himalayas are far away because Shiva resides in Kailasha. So you go to Himalayas and sleep on the ice. This was the minimum requirement. Then it was said that you are fond of good food, you want to have sumptuous food, you eat a lot, all right. So you deny everything that you like to begin with, all that you like. For example, Italians cannot eat pasta. Then deny that. But that's not sufficient. After that, you start eating things which are very bitter. As in the Zen system, they give you to eat something which is like quinine raised to power 108, which is absolutely bitter or absolutely sweet. So put your tongue into test. But still the stomach is there. So if you are eating too much, you fast for 1 day. That's not sufficient. Then fast for 7 days. Then for 40 days. I mean, the month has got to be 30 days. To fast for 40 days means you are already finished. That's how if you have to do your penance for nirvana. As it is, you get a nirvana because you are finished and dead, you see. Nothing is left out of you. Nothing but bones, and these bones then become nirvana. Ultimately the death follows, so you are finished and there is nirvana, no doubt about it. Then you don't live in a house, because house is comfort. Give up your wife, give up your children, give up everyone. Now wear only one something like a cloth tied round. And go and ask for alms from people. With these clothes also, there is still problem, because you are attached to your cloth. So you go to Himalayas, where there is nobody to see you. Take out your clothes, and in that cold, you stay there completely shaking. Then you will get your nirvana. As it is, you get nirvana. All such conditions were put as to destroy the demands of your body to begin with. You tell your body, no, nothing doing. You better work out your nirvana. The second thing was to destroy your mind, which takes you to senses, to things of joy. Supposing you want to have something very much. So, deny that. Anything that your mind tells you, just say no, no, no to. In Sanskrit, the shloka is like this: yan neti neti vachaner nigamo vachas. Which you won't say no iti, no, not this, not this, not this, not this. And then you can discuss only nirvana. Before that, you are not even worthy of discussion of nirvana. When I read this book, I said, Baba, I give up. It's too much. But in Sahaja Yoga, it's the other way round. Like building first the pinnacle of the building and then the foundation. Opening your Sahasrara was the first thing was achieved. And then in the light of the Sahasrara, you have to watch yourself and see for yourself. Gradually the introspection was a better thing. Through vibrations is to see why I want this, why my attention goes to my comfort, why my attention goes to food, why to my family, why to my children, when I have to achieve the highest. So you start introspecting yourself. Then you know on your vibrations also there's something wrong with you. Then you don't try to see others. What's wrong with others? You start seeing yourself. Because it's your own ascent you have to achieve. But in the olden times, all these things were done individually. Like a one person who starts the path of nirvana, he used to go into ekant, means into lonely places. Stay away from people, avoid them, have nothing to do, and achieve this ascent, self-realization only for himself. It was not for others. Then this gentleman became absolutely exclusive. He wouldn't talk to anyone, he wouldn't meet anybody, and he would sit somewhere on top of a remote mountain. Anybody who tried to meet him, he would throw stones or say all kinds of horrible things and never meet that person. But Sahaja Yoga is not the same. Sahaja Yoga is the ascent of the whole. This kind of singular achievements did not lead people anywhere. Saints, of course, tried to talk to people, tell them about self-realization, about God, about righteousness, about various systems. But they too were regarded as something strange and were tortured and troubled. So, on the level of an individual ascent, they couldn't do anything for others except for talking about it, telling about it, till Sahaja Yoga came. Even the talking about it was prohibited. Till the 12th century in India, nobody talked about it to the public. It was all in Sanskrit, very difficult Sanskrit books, which were only available to few aspirants, was explained to very, very few even, amounting to few numbers of people. But giving realization was denied. So only one master had one disciple. And all was the individual ascent, individual working up. Such a disciple was taken away from others and was kept in secret, worked it out on him, and just he may sing, he may write poems, he may talk about it, he might say what his joy is, but he had no right to give realization to anyone, neither he knew how to give realization. So now you see how far you have gone. You've got your realization without giving up much. You can work on a much wider scale. You can give realizations to others. You know about all the subtle knowledge about Sahaja Yoga. But today I am going to tell you something more which we have to know. It's very important to know because as was described by people that they practice Sahaja Yoga as they go to church, but it's not from their heart. And heart is the abode of the spirit. It's the Shiva within us. So we have to know more about heart, and that is very important. You know about these three nadis we have, Ida, Pingala, Sushumna. But in the heart there are four nadis. And the one nadi goes to Muladhara. And if you cross the limits of Muladhara, it goes to hell. That's why they say that Shiva is a destroyer. Actually, you ask for your destruction. And when you ask for your destruction, you have it. Even if it destroys anything, as I was telling, it's like when a fruit has to come, the petals look as if they are destroyed. As I have destroyed, I would say many of your things, you can call it like your conditionings, your ego, your racialism, your fanaticism, all this has been destroyed in Sahaja Yoga. This has to be destroyed for the beauty to come out. So when your maryadas cross beyond a certain point, you go to your destruction. In four directions there are destructions built, as there are four nadis. So now what is to be done? How are we to stop this destruction of through the first nadi going to hell? One of the qualities of Shiva is that his innocence. He is extremely innocent. He is innocent like a child. His innocence personified. So, we have to put our carnal desires, dissolve them into the innocence, the ocean of innocence. You have to dissolve it in the ocean of innocence. Innocence is something to be appreciated, to be understood, to be enjoyed. Like you see animals, they are innocent. You see children, they are innocent. Flowers, they are innocent. Divert your attention to all these things. You see, on walking on the street, what is there to see best is all at 3 feet height. You see at 3 feet height all the flowers, all the beautiful grass, all the children who are about 3 feet are the best. We need not see people who are above that. Just see on 3 feet level. You can see the legs of somebody, that's all right.
But you don't see the eyes of a person who are not innocent. So dissolve this desire into innocence. And this Muladhara, which is innocent, is not dead, finished, but is innocent. It is righteous. It is Sri Ganesha's qualities. It's pure. So even if you are in this world, even if you are living like a human being, even if you have children, still you are innocent. Like once, the wives of Sri Krishna, he had 16,000 wives to begin with, and the 5 more. The 16,000 were his powers and 5 were the elements. They were wanting to go to pray to some big, well-known, I should say, saint had come, a Maharshi had come. So they wanted to go and see him and pay respects. So they asked Sri Krishna's permission. But when they went, they found the river was all in speed. So flooded, they could not cross over. They came back, they said, how can we cross over this river? It's all in speed. So this Krishna said, all right, you just go and say, if Sri Krishna is Yogeshwar, and if he is absolutely innocent about sex, you go down. They said, how can we have so many wives, what is he talking about? So they went down and said this to the river. And the river went down, and they were surprised that this husband of ours is saying all these things. They went across and worshipped that rishi, and they were coming back again, the river was in floods. So they went back to the rishi, said, now how are we to cross over because it's in floods? They said, how did you come? So they told the story of Sri Krishna. Now they had fed this rishi with food and fruits, and he had eaten such a lot. All right, you go and tell this river that this rishi has not eaten at all anything. He said, how can it be just now you ate before us? He said, just go and see. They went back and told this to the river. The river again went down. So to live in this world, to be a wife or to be a husband, to be married, whatever it is, you can be innocent, absolutely innocent about it. That's the sign of your purity. The second nadi, the second channel that can take you to destruction is desire. That's why Buddha has said that desirelessness is the only way that people do not get old, nor sick, nor worried. Now this desire that we have, I want this, the West is much more than anywhere else. Because the entrepreneurs are every day producing new things. Say for example, a hairdress. So the women want to buy this wig or that wig. It's my desire. I must have this wig to put on my head. The another one says, all right, I must have this one. And the desire for men is, oh, if he is having a Rolls Royce, why shouldn't I have one?
They cannot enjoy somebody else's Rolls Royce. It should be your own, that I should have the possession. Desires can be of any kind, not only material. The desires could be also quite mental. I must possess this woman, I must possess this child. All kinds of possessions that work into you as desires. I wouldn't say it is because of attachment. It's not attachment, but it is just to have more. Go on adding up things, getting things. Still, one doesn't feel happy and satisfied. What is the reason for this kind of desire? Is that it's not pure desire. It's an impure desire. It's an impure desire. And when such a desire starts working, you can go any far. Like Saddam Hussein, like Hitler, like anything is nothing but absolutely desire beyond any limitations. You want to dominate others. Is also another desire. All these desires lead you ultimately to a destruction. Because there's no joy, there's no happiness. For example, now I want to have a sari. So I want to buy a sari. All my attention will be, how will I get that sari? I must get that sari, this thing, that thing. The attention becomes polluted, disturbed. For a nonsensical thing like a sari, the attention which has to enjoy the spirit, which has to nourish the spirit, becomes disturbed because of desires. In the first place, the attention is disturbed because we are not innocent. In the second place, the attention gets into turmoil because we have desire. So what should we do as far as the desire is concerned? Desire for beautiful things. We can shift our desire, material desire, into aesthetics. I'll have one thing, but which is really aesthetically rich. Because that's the quality of Shiva, that he gives aesthetics to everything. Now supposing this looks very plain, simple, and you may say that mechanical. But if it was Shiva's job, he would have done something beautiful about it. So the quality of Shiva is that he beautifies everything that is created by Brahmadeva, evolved by Vishnu. He is the one who does the subtle work of creating aesthetics. You see my photographs many a times with so many lights, this, that. It's all his job. He's doing it. He throws lights in such a manner. He works out in such a manner. Just he wants to convince you about me. It's his job. So his job is to create aesthetics. aesthetics of behavior, aesthetics of poetry. Everything that is created is made beautiful, is joy-giving by Shiva. That's his quality. So whatever you desire, if you start working it out, desiring for something aesthetically handmade, nice thing, gradually you will find you will end up with vibrations, because all beautiful things have vibrations. And to have the vibrations, you will have to go to pure desire. So this desire, which is madness, which makes you mad, which is so much dull and boring, becomes pure desire, because you have to dissolve all your desires into vibration. You start desiring nothing but vibrations after some. You will not buy anything which has no vibrations. You will not talk to a person who has no vibrations. If somebody has vibrations, you will just run away. I've seen people running away from some people as if some monkey is after them. When I look around, I find there are people who are drunkard or somebody coming or something. They might have been drunkards themselves once upon a time. But now they run out. No. Not now, no more. We had 3-4 hippies to begin with who came with me to India. They are normal like you, they were become research yogis. And 4-5 hippies came to my program. It was in Rahuriyat. They got a fright of their life. Oh no, oh God. I said, what's the matter with these? Why are you so frightened? So I turned around to see these hippies. And by the time I turned around, they were out. They were no more there. So then what happens? All desire ends up into Chaitanya, into vibration. And if it does not, then you must know there's something still missing. But if you do not do this, then you end up into your destruction. So to say that he is a destroyer is a very one-sided statement. He has both the powers. He has the power to give you vibrations. He gives you vibrations. The goddess is the power, Shakti. But he makes the vibrations. It's like these are the fingers, all right. But if they tickle you, then it's Shiva. The fingers are that of the goddess, all right. But if it tickles you, gives you joy, happiness, is Shiva. Is the bhakti. The joy of bhakti comes from Shiva. Today only I was explaining how one lady who was a Devi Bhakt and has done so much study of bhakti and all that and knew so much, just merged into me. I just couldn't understand her, what she has done. Because normally people don't do. When they are reading about Devi, they think, all right, this is Devi, this is Mataji. It's separate things. They don't know they are reading about Devi. So she said, Mother, I just identify. It's written that how you are gentle. The goddess is gentle. How she touches me. How she looks after me. How her attention is on me. Like there's a sentence, Kataksha Kataksha Nirikshan. Every glance is an inspection. Not inspection, not a very good word, but direction means inspection, divine inspection. So all the time I feel that it's you are all the time. When I listen to music, I feel now, see, she's looking at me, she's feeling me, she's nourishing me. All the time I feel your love. That's how the bhakti comes in. So if you have vibrations, that doesn't mean that they are something dry, see? No. It means the joy of bhakti. Bhakti is, you call it adoration, this, that. It's the ocean of love that is God. You just get drenched into it. There's no words to it. And that is what, when you feel, you must know that you have taken the spirit as a real connection between you and your mother or your father. There's no differentiation. You are one in that ocean, drenched in the ocean. You are the drop, you are the ocean. You are one in that bhakti. And that bhakti cannot be mechanical. Because not man-made. So to enjoy Sahaja Yoga, you must know that it's not dry vibrations only, but it's the bhakti. That is the joy of Shiva's quality of joy that he adds to our life. Everything seems to be surrounded, resounding, same thing, the joy. That I'm loved so much by God, that God loves me, that I have a meaning in life, then the ego drops out, first of all. And also the conditionings drop out. Now the third nadi is the nadi by which we feel attached. Attached to someone. Like, this is my child, this is my husband, this is my family, this is my wife, this is my father, this is my mother. In the beginning of Sahaja Yoga, of everyone, when they are just the beginners, so they talk about their whole family. My father is like this, my mother is sick, my mother's sisters, brothers, this, that, real, this thing is not well. As if, you see, we all have taken a contract. What should I do? Like today, somebody said that, you see, they lost their first child. First child they lost. Because the child was sleeping in another room. I said, small children should sleep with mother, and mother must look after the children. It's a simple thing. I mean, in India, no mother would accept such a situation. She'll throw away the husband. So what's this? I have to look after the child. So I said, tell them that they should sleep with the child. So that they don't believe in it. It's all right. What can we do? Have we taken their contract that we should look after their children even when they don't want to listen to us. So the idea is all the time in the beginning is that, oh mother, I've been doing Sahaja Yoga for 1 month, but so far my financial condition has not improved. As if they are going to sue me for that. As if I've let them down. But they don't want to see that you have just now come to Sahaja Yoga. Or even if you have been in Sahaja Yoga for so many years, you have not been a Sahaja Yogi. Something missing, you don't deserve. Something wrong with you, not with Sahaja Yoga. But they feel that Sahaja Yoga is something which has got the contract. Immediately they'll inform you. Now somebody is sick there, somebody, send 5 Sahaja Yogis. For what? These attachments start working within us. Now some people I've seen very attached to their children. And they go on pampering, my child. And suddenly they discover the child is a devil's child. The child starts answering back, saying all kinds of things, beating the parents, misbehaving. And then they suddenly discover that this is the child whom I have been looking after, giving so much love. And they feel even worse because I have done so much for my wife and she is treating me like this. I have done so much for my husband and he is treating me like this. Why do you do so much? There is no need. If you are doing it, you just do it and forget it. I never feel that way. I know of Sahaja Yogis for whom I worked very hard and they have gone down. Only thing, if I feel anything, God knows where will they jump, where will they be in hell, what will happen to them. That's the only concern. Not the concern what has happened, because nothing can happen to me. But if they have been sinful, I just get worried about their future, about their lives. That's different. So this kind of attachment, that is, we call it in Sanskrit, is mamatva. This is mine, that's my child, my this thing, my that. Who are your relations are Sahaja Yogis. Remember this. It's the sentence you must remember. My relations are Sahaja Yogis only. And anybody who plays against Sahaja Yogis, troubles Sahaja Yogis, that person could be my own wife, could be my own child, is not mine. I'll not allow such a thing to happen. This relationship is all right till Sahaja Yogis are one with each other. As soon as somebody tries to harm any other Sahaja Yogi, then I am not with that person. I've seen there are many like that, but very good Sahaja Yogis. They'll never side with their wives, never side with their children. Because they know, if you are siding with them, you are making them sinful. You are destroying them. They are worried about their ascent. So they never allow anybody, a relation of theirs, to trouble others. I have seen some children who are extremely naughty, very troublesome, very violent. And the parents just saying, Mother, put them right. We leave it to you. They are to be put right. But others may say, oh, no, you see, my child, he cannot do such a thing. So, one has to understand the discrimination part of it. That, why am I attached? I have given this simile many a times, like the sap of the tree rises, goes to various places of the trees, various areas, looks after the bark, looks after the branch, looks after the leaves, flowers and fruits, and comes back. Or it gets evaporated, doesn't get attached. If it gets involved into one of them, the whole tree will die, and that part which is so close to the sap will also die. But sap has much more sense than we have. To them, husband so important. I mean, so many problems of husbands, wives, this, that. My God, I sometimes think, what is this? That's why they used to say, take a sannyasa. So nobody can talk about wife, children, nothing. You have to be a sannyasi. First of all, be a sannyasi. So no headache to the guru. As soon as you start talking about any one religion of yours, the guru would say, all right, you get out. Nothing doing. No good. But in Sahaja Yoga is much deeper work to do. It has to penetrate into the society, into the political life, into economic life. You have to emancipate the whole world. Try to understand your responsibility. They are not only here for one ascetic ascent. No. How much wisdom you must have, how much love you must have, and how much discrimination you must have to understand that you are chosen for the emancipation of the whole world. So now this so-called limited love, what is the solution which takes you to destruction? Is the unlimited love. Because Shiva is nothing but love. He is love. Love is that corrects, that nourishes, that wants your benevolence. That's what Shiva is. It wants your benevolence. It looks after your benevolence. So when you are looking after the benevolence of others with love, then the whole life changes. The whole pattern changes. And you really enjoy it because you become one with so many, concerned with so many families, so many things, so many problems of others and us. So you just feel you are one with so many. Thusly, we have so many Sahajogis here today. First time when I came to Italy, I must tell you, I came with Christy, what's the name of Gregor's wife? Huh? Catherine. And she was the only one who knew Italian. And we had told some newspaper to reserve some sort of a hall and advertise for us. Nothing was done. So when we came, we couldn't find anyone. So I went round with her to put the posters. But still nobody came. And today we are so many. But we must know that we are bound to each other by love. And the love that is for our benevolence, for our ascent. And then you just start enjoying everyone. Then you don't think what race you are, what country you are, what this thing you are, nothing. Sahaja, finished. So you become a universal being. And this attitude has to be achieved. When I hear that some Indian girls are tortured and troubled, I think, how can they do it? Or somebody who is a black skin, they are tortured. Or some Indians are treating somebody because they are of low caste. It's not possible because we are all part and parcel of one body. We are all brothers and sisters, born of the same mother. But this is only possible when you dissolve that limited relationship of yours into this great unlimited ocean of love. Then only it is possible. And if it is not there, do not try to justify. Just watch yourself. See for yourself. Are you really in love with everyone? You see, I would say that all the time when I'm supposed to go for shopping, I just think, oh, this one will be nice for this one. That will be nice for that one. For myself, if you say, it's impossible for me to buy anything for myself. It's an impossible situation. Unless and it is absolutely immediate or some problem is there, if I'm just without it. I won't even buy a drink for myself, even if I'm thirsty. Because the whole thing is the joy of others. Oh, this will be nice for that person. This will be good for that person. All this is the most enjoyable thing. I mean, why all this is for there? After all, think about yourself. Why am I here? I'm here to enjoy everyone, everyone. They are all realized souls. Such beautiful lotuses. I'm not going to stoop down to the mud. Now I'm a lotus. That is the way you open the heart. The lotus of your heart. And the fragrance of such a person is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So you are no more divisive. You do not want to separate from each other. Anywhere is done, you are agreeable to that. You don't think that it should be done here or there or there. But anywhere, but should be. All of us together. So, the small attachments that are with you have to be dissolved into this ocean of love, which is Shiva. Fourth one is the most important for all of us, is to know that there is a nadi which passes through left Vishuddhi into the heart, starts from the heart, goes up, passes through Agya. It has 4 petals and opens up. This is the one which gives you the state which is called as Turiya. We live in 3 states. In the awakened state, Jagruti, our attention goes to this, that and all that, we spoil our attention. But the second one is the one, what we call, is that we sleep. When we sleep also, all these things that have happened come to us from our past and things like that. But then we go to the deeper sleep called as Sushupti. It's a state where you have deep sleep and you dream of something that is reality also. You may dream about me, like it's the ethereal part of the subconscious where some beautiful informations are passed out. Supposing I come, say, to Italy. Italians might know in their Sushupti that I've come here, or maybe anybody might know, depends on. But the 4th state is called as Turiya. There are 2 more states. You are in a Turiya state, is the 4th state. Turiya means 4th. 4th state is where that you are in a thoughtless awareness state. When there is no thought, just think of it. When there is no thought, you have to be innocent. When there is no thought, you have to have vibrations. When there is no thought, you cannot be attached to anyone. So into that thoughtless state you have come now as a Turiyati sthiti. And in this state, when you are, these 4 petals which are within you have to open out in your brain. They come from your heart to your brain. And that is when you absolutely understand what is God. Absolutely know what is God is. That is the time when one receives the real knowledge. But unless and until these 4 petals open, one may fall back. And that's why some of the Sajogis who are still meddling with things which they should not do, go down. And they don't understand what is God is. But it's not the understanding, you understand this one little point, that it comes from your heart into your brain, not from your brain to your heart. It comes as if the ambrosia of your bhakti covers your brain. Absolutely. Say for example, Shankaracharya wrote a beautiful treatise called as Viveka Chudamani, where he described what is God, this, that, and Viveka means the conscience and consciousness and all that he described, quite a lot. But there was one horrible fellow called Sarma who started arguing with him and he got fed up. Shankaracharya. He said, no use talking to them. So he just wrote Saundarya Lahari. Saundarya Lahari is nothing but all the mantras praising the mother. He said, I know mother, now let me praise her. The thing doing, what's the use of talking to these people? Stupid things, how will they understand? He realized that these people haven't got that capacity, that sensitivity to understand what I know. That's the real knowledge, is to know what is God. And if that is God, then how can you suspect anything? How can you try to analyze anything? It's God. It's God Almighty, which knows everything, which does everything, which enjoys everything. That is the one we should say is the jnana, is the knowledge, is the true knowledge, the pure knowledge is not the knowledge of chakras, not the knowledge of vibrations, not the knowledge of Kundalini, but the knowledge of God Almighty. And the knowledge of God Almighty is not mental. Again I tell you, it starts from your heart and goes to your brain. Something that comes out of your experience of joy and covers your brain. So your brain cannot deny it anymore. Like sometimes when you have your mother, little mother, you know the love of your mother. So you cannot explain, it comes from your heart. And you say, no, that's my mother, she won't do like that. I know my mother very well. The knowledge about your mother, the one who has given you birth, mother may not be very good or whatever it is. But knowledge about God, that He is love, that He is truth, that He knows everything, that just become part and parcel of your being. Absolutely. And that's the time we say is the nirvana. So it's important, especially for the people of the West. Now open your hearts, because it starts from the heart, not from your brain. Do not judge people on vibrations. Judge yourself all the time. I had told that Shiv Puja means more explanation, more understanding, more this thing, because in other pujas we do all these mantras, this, that. But in this puja is to know the knowledge, it's God. And to know that you know God itself is so great. Whatever it is, she may be Mahamaya, she may be anything, but I know. It cannot be described in one book, it cannot be described in 100 books. It cannot be described in words, but to know that's God. After all, that's God, God Almighty. And that gives you that beautiful surrender, where you just feel absolutely secure in that ocean of love. I wish you all to achieve that state. May God bless you.
We'll offer Shambho Shankara.
शंभो शंकरा करुणा करा जग सांब सदाशिव है त्रिपुरारी शंभो हृदय निवासी साक्षी स्वरूपी शंभो शंकरा करुणा करा जग जागवा शंभो शंकरा करुणा करा सदाशिव हे त्रिपुरारी शंभो हृदय निवासी साक्षी स्वरूपी शंभो सांब सदाशिव हे त्रिपुरारी शंभो हृदय निवासी साक्षी स्वरूपी शंभो शंभो शंकरा करुणाकरा जगदाधवा शंभो शंकरा शंभो शंकरा शंभो
With our attention on the left heart, we'll offer a few names of Shri Shiva. You are the Pure One, the Lord God Almighty, Shri Shiva. Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shiva Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. Shri Shankara. Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shankara Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. Shri Pashupati. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Pashupati Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. Shri Rudra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Rudra Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. Shri Nataraj. Om त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री नटराज साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री आत्मा परमात्मा ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री आत्मा परमात्मा साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री शंभो ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री शंभो साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निष्कलंका ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री निष्कलंका साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री क्षमा क्षेत्र ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री क्षमा क्षेत्र साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री श्रीवत्सला ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री श्रीवत्सला साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री महेश्वर ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महेश्वर साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री नीलकंठ ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री नीलकंठ साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री हृत पुंडरीकासना ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री हृत पुंडरीकासना साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री आदि निर्मल आत्मा Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Adi Nirmalatma Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ji Shri Nirmala Deve Namo Namaha. Shri Satchidananda Rupa Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Satchidananda Rupa Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. Shri Sadashiva Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sadashiva Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ji Shri Nirmala Deve Namo Namaha. Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. Let us all stand up for Aarti.
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने दिए अवतार, माँ कितने दिए अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा, तू गंगा यमुना माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निरमल माता जी, जय निरमल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको, माँ सुख ही मिला उसको। बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, लौट के ना जाना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निरमल माता जी, जय निरमल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियाला, माँ कर दिया उजियाला। कलयुग में माया है, कलयुग में माया है, फिर भी पहचाना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निरमल माता जी, जय निरमल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। संत जनों की धरती है भारत माता, माँ है भारत माता। इस धरती पर आकर, इस धरती पर आकर, दुख से दूर करना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निरमल माता जी, जय निरमल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जब दिल में आए तब मधु संगीत सुन लो, माँ मधु संगीत सुन लो। हो य सके जो सेवा, हो य सके जो सेवा, हमसे करा लेना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निरमल माता जी, जय निरमल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्रीकल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्रीकल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री भगवती माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
Om